Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Into the Night. Tonight, we talk about indie filmmaking here. My name is Paul A. Brooks. I'm the founder of Into the Night Motion Pictures, and I only have a free Zoom. So these conversations can only go 35, 40 minutes tops. I am super excited to have literally one of my oldest buddies and oldest collaborators, Jason Huls. Welcome.
Thank you, Paul. I'm happy to be here.
I think this episode is going to come out in January, maybe February of 2026. Do you realize what that means?
Yes, that I have known you since 1996. Is that where you're going with
It'll
this?
it'll be our 30th anniversary.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Soak it in.
This will be a great way to celebrate that.
Yes. Yes, we have been collaborating for literally 30 years. It started with music. We were in a band together, and then it sort of slowly for both of us transitioned into movies and all sorts of different projects. I thought I might start there. I can't really remember if it was the same. Oh wait, I got to show you my background. There you are.
Oh, I'm in there. Okay,
Yeah,
I recognize the place from Hag, but
yeah, that's
yeah, I didn't know I was hiding back there.
that's you shooting BTS for my film Hunting for the Hag. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Um, when we were in a band together, we for me, we did some music videos, and that really got me thinking. I kind of might like this whole video side of everything a little bit more than the music side. And
Yeah.
I can't really remember if it was the same for you or if you kind of caught the movie bug prior to that.
Well, I started seeing movie making, filmmaking as an actual viable art form in college. So
After that.
I think it was right around when we were doing those videos.
Hmm.
I'm really hoping that you don't have any clips of
I
those. Okay, good.
don't.
I was
This
afraid of
is
that.
this is not one of those shows where we say, yeah, we'd have the clip, let's play it.
Good, because yeah, it was very dramatic. But yeah, no, one of our friends who went to Columbia, Brett, hi.
Hmm.
Um, did a music video for us for one of his film projects. And it was about that time that I was at ISU and I switched my minor over to video art.
Mm.
And that's what it was called because that's the only filmmaking type of thing they had at the time. And I spent way more time on those video art classes than I did in my major classes. So that, yeah, it was about 1996 or 7 when I started kind of seeing that as a thing that I should do.
Yeah. And I should mention, I forgot to mention at the top of the show that you're a writer, you're a director, you have been writing stories, for books and different compilations that have been coming out. You have a thing that you do called the Mythos Minute podcast, where you just tell very short little, I don't know if you'd call them stories or what do you consider them to be?
Mostly the Mythos Minute podcast is 1 minute episodes of either horror, flash fiction, or drabble, or poetry. So every episode is a minute. I do have a couple that have gone a little longer, but roughly a minute.
So when you were first starting out and started, kind of started getting the video bug, did you kind of have an eye on directing, or did you sort of feel like I want to write and direct at the same time, or are you just sort of feeling it out? Do you remember?
No, I definitely wanted to write and direct. I actually also wanted to do more acting early on too,
Mm,
which I kind of just got away from. But yeah, just because I don't know, I've always had really specific ideas and I guess strong opinions, and so it was just sort of natural that I wanted to be the guy making the creative decisions. So writing and direct was my main background. So writing and directing just kind of felt natural for me.
yeah. Well, obviously we need to talk about one of the biggest projects that we collaborated on together fairly well, I guess 10 years after, yeah, let's see, when was Late Afternoon? 2004?
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
did a zombie movie. You wrote and directed a zombie movie that we did starting in 2004 that came out in April of 2027. So we're not too far away from the 20th anniversary of that.
Oh man. Yeah, that's true. Um, that started as a short film. We had a
Right.
really, really sweet location in Decatur, Illinois, through a friend of mine, Andy Moore, who I met in the video art classes at Illinois State. And he hooked us up with an abandoned building, several levels of abandoned building. And so we started shooting a short film and we put a bunch of zombies in it. And we said, hey, we're putting so much work into this. Let's just make it a feature. No problem. So not the way you're supposed to do it, but I
No,
remember writing the movie after we'd already shot, right? After we'd already started shooting, which is insane. Like you should never do that.
no.
But we did, and it was a lot of weekends, a lot of pulling anybody you can pull, you know. I will say though, I mean, it was hard. The whole thing was hard, but looking back on it, it's definitely one of the most fun projects I've ever done, even still to this day.
Yeah.
It's like no money, blood is chocolate syrup, but that's the type of stuff that you learn and look back and have fun with now.
Yeah, I think that for me, I'm still sort of chasing it a little bit because it's just different now, like there's money and there's I haven't ever shot anything like that again. And I'd kind of love to because there was such a freedom in shooting it on the weekend and then saying, okay, what do we need? Having 5 days or maybe 2 weeks or whatever to
Yeah.
say, all right, what do we need to get ready for next time so that you're not constantly up against the gun.
Well, let me ask you this. Um, do you think nowadays, since we are not spring chickens anymore, do you think that there's a level of guilt to what we do now? Like to go, because honestly, everyone was in their 20s and we didn't have a problem asking for things for free. That's
Hmm.
really what it comes down to, I think. Like we didn't have a problem just saying, "Hey, would you give up like 2 years of your weekends to come down and drive for 3 hours in some cases for no money just to be in this movie?"
No, I have no guilt about that. Um, because I cannot think of a single person who ever to me felt like, God, how did I get roped into this?
Yeah.
I never got that feeling from anyone, whether they were there for one day as a zombie or there for a year and a half because an actor quit and you were dating someone and all of a sudden you had to do it. Um, I never got that feeling.
Yeah.
So no, I mean it was a different time when you're young, you're eager to try something new, and it was I think just everybody was having a really good time
But
with it.
would you be okay asking for those type of commitments today, though?
No.
That's my point. Like, I feel like maybe that we're at this point where it's like we just can't bring ourselves to ask people to do that anymore.
I think
You
it's
know?
just a different I mean again, if it was something where for whatever reason we were asking a bunch of college students to do it for little to no money,
Yeah,
maybe, but they would be like, who are these old guys trying to get? It just
right,
wouldn't work.
right. Yeah. So I think there's something to the phase of life that we have transitioned to that would make it very, very difficult to sort of recapture that magic of,
Right. Yeah.
working with your friends for no money and on no sleep.
And I have to imagine that that's probably not uncommon. I mean, I imagine that probably Obviously, I'm not comparing, but the first Evil Dead movie, they
Hmm.
probably had so much fun working on that because they were kids and because they didn't know what they were doing, and it was just, let's just go do it. Versus whatever Sam Raimi is working on, I doubt that he's having as much fun right now as he did on that.
Yeah.
So
I would, yeah.
that's the nature of it.
Yep. Maybe you have that experience and then you grow up, you move on.
Right. But, I mean, we 20 years later are still putting out films. We're still doing stuff together. We have our own, kind of projects. I mean, usually it's either like if it's something like you have a new short film that's kind of out right now, doing the festival run and everything right now, called The Fawn. I helped with that. You kindly gave me an executive producer credit. Um, and when I was doing my first feature right here, you came out for a day to help on that. So even if it's not a full collaboration necessarily, we're kind of always helping each other out.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and I know you feel the same way. I think we've been very lucky to develop the network of people that we have,
Yeah.
because I mean, there are very few exceptions. Um, and I'd have to think about it, but like I think almost every single person I've worked with, I would go back to and ask for something again.
Oh,
Maybe a couple exceptions,
I have some exceptions.
but by and large, I'm saying
Yeah,
like the good vastly outweighs the bad. So
100%.
I think we've been fortunate with the talent that we've attracted.
Yeah. I also think there's something about, having seeing the difference between living in LA and experiencing trying to make stuff in Hollywood versus being in central Illinois. There is always kind of this because obviously there's just not as much of it here. If you say to somebody, "Hey, I'm making a movie," usually people are like, "Oh, interesting. What's it about?" Or like, "Can I help in some way?"
Yeah,
And that's always nice here too, just sort of knowing that you kind of have people who will probably help you out if you ask.
yeah, yeah. There was a part of me that really wanted to go to LA for a while, right after late afternoon,
Well, we did go out there
Yeah,
for a week.
yeah, and I like the vibe. I like everybody likes the weather, but I liked it. I liked being out there. And so yeah, there was always a part of me that was like, man, maybe I should go there. But then thinking back now, I'm like, man, I'm kind of glad I didn't.
It's not easy.
Yeah, it
And
just I don't know if I would mix with it well in the long run.
it would have been easier in 2007 than 2025.
Yeah.
Now it's definitely not happening because you got kids and you got a whole different thing going on.
Yeah, yeah, my rule always became if the work dictated it.
Right.
If I had an opportunity to go there for work, then I would follow that opportunity. And I suppose that still exists, but I mean,
You never know.
yeah.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your new short film that I just mentioned, The Fawn. It's sort of, you have it finished and sort of hitting some film festivals and things like that right now. Obviously, we're recording this in advance, so we don't know exactly where it's playing or where you're at with that. But can you talk a little bit about, just what it's about and the experience of making it and everything, which we actually shot it right here at the
Hmm.
same location for Hunting for the Hag.
Yeah, I mean, yes, you're the executive producer because you brought the location, you brought the actress. Um, so yeah, I mean,
Nora, shout out
sort of,
Nora.
hi Nora. You put all of the resources together for it.
Right.
What is it about? Um, it, yeah, no, I know. This began, the whole idea was it's supposed to be sort of the most experimental thing that I've ever tried. So I'll say it like this. It's about a woman who wakes up in the forest in sort of a fugue state, and she wanders looking for clues as to how she got there and what sort of sinister ritual has happened to her. Um, there is a strong folk horror and cosmic horror component. Um, and there is also a witch played by my wife, who is at the same time that our actress is wandering the woods, that you see the witch performing different rites and rituals, sort of black magic type stuff. And it's about the two of them and the process that is happening. It's sort of, in a way, sort of in the middle of a spell.
And
So
this is maybe a little bit of insider info, but well, he's in the credits. You got Chris Hudson to come back from our zombie film, the lead actor in our zombie film. You got him to come back for a weird little role in this thing.
I did, yes. There is, you won't know it's him, but I know it's him. And I thought that would be fun. The only other thing I think we've done together since late afternoon was he was an extra in my MFA film. I think he
Hmm,
was standing, just sort of in playing background extra in one of the scenes. Um, so yeah, it's like you want to bring your friends back. So, and
sure.
here's another thing. Chris always, whenever we go to conventions to, when I promote anything, Chris likes going to the conventions with me. And I thought, it'd be nice for him to have a little skin in the game next time
Yeah.
he gets to go to one.
We did a podcast with Chris for 6 or 7 years. We go over to his house once a year to watch way too many movies and not get enough sleep. And he's one of our oldest longtime buddies. I think one of the very first movie projects that we ever did was a little thing called the Television Executive,
Well,
which I
now we're
guess
really
I'll put
digging
a
deep.
link down below if you feel like checking that out.
Is it on YouTube?
I think I put it up at some point.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a throwback. Um, are you someone who's sort of gotten into, sort of the car lifestyle, automotive stuff? You have a hubcap behind you for some reason. I don't know what that's all about.
Oh, yeah, this back here. No, I love hubcaps. That's it.
We got
Uh,
to talk about this.
okay. Yeah, no, that is a Hubbie Award from Joe Bob Briggs, and it is one of my prized possessions because one of the short films I did called That Damned Yellow Raincoat won a premiere in Las Vegas a couple years ago at his drive-in movie festival. And it crushes me that I did not get to go in person, but I put the word out on the Joe Bob Briggs, like I think it was the Facebook page, and some very nice strangers agreed to record the bit for me when Joe Bob introduces my movie, and he does his whole like count thing, like
Right.
this foo, that foo. Um, and I just said, I'm so sad that I don't get to go. And three different people recorded it for me, so I got to see it. But yeah, so if you got your film selected and you won that premiere, he bestowed upon you the Hubbie Award. So that's what that is back there for That Damned Yellow Raincoat. Short film, did a couple years ago. Um, that was the briefly, it's just about a suburban man who becomes obsessed with a stranger in a yellow raincoat who keeps circling his block and stopping out in front of his house. And it is horror, cosmic horror. Um, and yeah, so that was sort of my post-COVID knock the rust off project.
Well, it worked out.
It did.
And I want to point out that the festival that they did, it was in Las Vegas, and they had, I think, something like 8 short films that made it into the festival out of all the submissions from across the entire country. 8 short films got into the festival. So that's obviously they saw something that they liked in the film in order for that damned yellow raincoat to make the cut.
I was pretty proud of that. Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, you
The
should be.
the
And
cast was awesome. I mean, it just that was a thing where it was like it was a 1 day shoot. It was a 1 day shoot.
mhm.
And just everything came together. A lot of talent in that one room. And yeah, we knocked it out.
Shout out to our friend Marina, who I believe I also helped you locate and cast. Is just my job now is locating your
I think
lead
so.
actresses.
It's work. Clearly, it's working.
Yeah, shout out to Marina. She did a great job in that. I mean, I guess, like she's the titular that damn raincoat, but she's probably not in it as much as Meg and is it Chris who's your
Christopher
lead?
Maester. Yeah.
Yeah. But definitely check that. That's on YouTube for free now as well, right?
Yep.
Yep. So you can go check that out if you want to type in that damn yellow raincoat. I'll probably put a link down below for that as well. And shout out to Nora, who we mentioned was in the Fawn and was also in my film Hunting for the Hag uh, as the fake hag. Spoilers if you haven't seen it. But it's always nice to have people that you bring back for different projects or that you can kind of cross collaborate on stuff like that. It's something that I find just a fun little nugget of filmmaking.
Oh yeah. Yeah. There's quite a few actors that I would love to work with again.
So, in terms of, obviously the Fawn is doing the festival thing right now. Do you think that you're going to do the same thing with it, where eventually it's just going to be out on YouTube? Do you think you're going to try to go the Film Hub route or anything like that?
I mean, I'll try. The fun is 9 minutes, you know. So it's a little hard to get distribution of any kind, really,
Right.
for something that's so short. Um, but yeah, I mean, it doesn't hurt to try through Film Hub, and eventually, yeah, I'll just release it to YouTube. Right now, so I have a Substack. I'm a Substacker, and I do a lot of writing on film and writing horror writing, filmmaking, just sort of the general creative process. And so if anybody subscribes to my Substack, in the automated email that you receive that thanks you for signing up, you get the link to the Fawn. So if
Oh,
anybody out there wants to see the Fawn right now, and see what kind of weird little thing we crafted, just subscribe to my Substack and we'll become friends and you can read what I've written and watch the movie.
sweet. What is with your short films? I guess really your short films, like I mentioned, you have a family and you have a full-time job, and so
Mhm.
is it fair to say that you do this for the love of the game?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I definitely want to do features again, no doubt. But I mean, life takes you in different directions, and I had kids. My kids range from we'll say just about 10 years old. He's just about 10 to 6, and so they were young, and then there was COVID, and that now we're in sort of post-COVID, and so there was a good number of years where, yeah, I just had to focus on family, kids, and making that all work. So short films was something that I could do to kind of stay in the game, stay sharp, and with the hope that someday, yeah, I'd like to get back to features. And something else I'd like to do too with short films is right now I'm working on a book. It's an anthology or a collection of short stories, right? And there are a few of them that I would like to turn into films, with the idea being that, hey, if somebody sees the film and likes it, maybe they'd be interested in the book. Or if they buy the book, and they think it's cool, well, hey, I want to watch three or four of these, the film versions of what I just read. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
it's sort of a one hand washes the other kind of approach. Um, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of sitting with one idea for a long time, but that's something else I'd like to try to plan out as the book gets closer to being finished.
We should also shout out our friends over at Voices from the Mausoleum. You did a little, was it like one of those compilations where you did a short story with them?
I did. I submitted the story. I have been told that it was accepted, but I don't think they have announced that book yet, and so I
Okay.
haven't really talked about it.
Okay.
But yes, I hope that that still goes through and hope to be in one of their books very soon,
Cool.
early
Yeah.
next year. Well, when this comes out, hopefully very soon.
What is, as a dad and as someone who is very busy with a full-time job and a wife and a house and two dogs, right? It's two right
Mm.
now.
It's two. Yep.
What's sort of some of the more challenging aspects of balancing all of that with trying to find the time for writing and just doing creative things in general? Do you have a process where you try to set aside X amount of time every week, or is it just sort of like whenever I can go to Panera?
Um, that is a great question. The most important part of this is having a spouse that supports you.
Mm,
Um, that is everything because what we are able to do is work out that time, because, for me, if I don't have the time in my life to pursue writing or the filmmaking, these creative projects, it's like a pressure valve, right? And if I don't get to do these things, I feel like the pressure builds up
mhm.
and I kind of turn into a monster a little bit. Um, and my wife understands that. And, so we talk a lot. And just like when you're directing, you got to have good communication. You got to have that at home too. And so we talk a lot about our schedules. And generally, what I get is 3 nights a week after I get off work until about, yeah, I usually get about 3.5 hours, 3 nights a
Wow.
week.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's good. It's great. That allows me to make a lot of progress every week. And then, here and there, if I have a lunch hour or I'm not a morning person, like I can't do the get up at 5. I've tried, but that's not me.
Yeah.
Um, so I really do work with Aaron to um make sure that the time that I am taking is acceptable.
Well, shout out Aaron,
Yeah.
not only for that, but great job on the Fawn as well.
Yes, she is the witch, which was a lot of fun. She's also one. She always likes to help in certain ways with these projects, all the projects that I've done. And so I thought, this would be a lot of fun if she got to, be more in front of the camera and have a more, upfront role. And she was totally like willing to do it and get in there and let me, put different strange symbols on her face and stuff. It was fun.
I think she also had a small part in, I can see just a little corner of the poster in your shot right now.
Yeah.
Isn't she in Citizen in the Temple as well?
Yes, she plays a mutant cannibal with my sister-in-law. There was a scene in that where we went underneath the streets of a city. Were you there? You were there for that shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Under the streets of the city.
No, you know what? I wasn't there that day.
Oh, you weren't?
No.
Okay. So we were like in this old tunnel beneath the streets, and we had a hunk of, and actually, one of the reasons this happened is that the makeup guy was just a total pro. His name was Ken Hurtline, and he had all of this gory stuff. And so we were like setting up our shots, and he's like, I have a corpse that looks like it was sort of like blown apart by like a grenade. Like, yes, let's use that. So we have this shot where my wife and my sister-in-law are just munching down on this thing. So that was another fun one that she got to do.
We have a little segment on this show, Jay, that we do called Indie Inspo, and we're going to do it right now. So, let's talk a little bit about an indie film that has inspired you at some point, something that you really love. What do you got for me?
I'm gonna go with The Endless by Aaron Benson and Justin Moorhead. I really like their stuff.
I'm
I think
trying to remember. I've definitely seen some of their stuff, but I'm trying to remember if I've seen that one in particular.
that one is about um, brothers who have escaped this cult and have grown up sort of years later after getting out of this cult. And one of them fondly remembers their time in it, and the other one is pretty sure it's like an alien death cult.
I don't
And
think I've seen it. I think
okay,
I'd
it's
remember
it's
that.
it's excellent. It's excellent. And they go back to visit the the cult. And I don't want to spoil it for you because you really should watch it. But
Yeah.
um it is just it's my exact brand of weird. Um it's smart, it's well constructed, it's tense. Um and it's the first movie that I saw by them. And it's one of the only times I think where I've seen an indie film and then immediately was like, I need to know like their entire catalog. Like
Hmm.
I have to go right now and see on IMDb and see everything else that they've done because this one was like so my jam that I need to see more. And I did. I
Did
went and watched their other films too.
they do Spring?
They did Spring. Yeah, Spring is another awesome one. And I heard that they did Spring because they wanted to shoot a film. I think it was in Italy where they
Why
shot.
not?
Yeah, like that was a great one.
I've
But
had that thought too. I mean, I have some friends in, like I got a buddy in Dublin, Ireland. And he's like,
yes,
come out, let's do something.
go. Like, yeah,
Yeah. So that is one of the, perks of filmmaking is it's like, when we shot my second feature, Bring Back My Baby, earlier this summer, or I guess at the time of this last year, um, we were poking around for locations and it was like, well, let's think about where we'd like to hang out for 9 days. And being like up on this mountain out by Big Bear was really cool. I'd never been out there before. That's kind of one of the perks of filmmaking.
that's the thing to do. Just find a cool spot that you want to be in.
Right.
Make a movie there.
Cool. All right. I'll check out The Endless and I'll check out their catalog to see what else I haven't seen. Because I know that I've definitely seen some of their stuff. I just,
Yeah. Uh, let's see. Resolution, I think it's called. That was another good one. Um, they have one synchronic. That
mhm.
was one. And then they've gone on to do some like Marvel stuff now. So,
Wow.
you know, yeah, did some Daredevil. Um, so they're busy guys now.
Cool. Well, we have 5 minutes left, so let's go ahead and plug some stuff if you want to mention some of your socials and anything else that you'd like to say.
Sure. I am at Jason Huls at just about all of them. So I even signed up for TikTok.
And I've already made the graphics. We have your handle, on your little,
Oh,
it's on screen right now.
cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there it is. I see it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but no, please check out that damned yellow raincoat. That's on YouTube. My YouTube channel is Ten Wing Media. Um, again, I'm writing Jason Hall's Creative on Substack. I would love to sort of build a community there, just celebrating filmmaking and horror writing and the creative process. And I just feel like that's kind of like the best platform lately to do that sort of thing. And yeah, I think that's it for right
Do
now.
do you have a, I mean, I know that you're sort of right now with the Fawn, still planning the festivals and everything and sort of like the rollout for that, but do you have any sense of like something that you strongly would like to do next, or are we a little too early in the process right now?
No, no, I do. I have a couple things actually, but one that I would like to do is a short film called The Overture, and it is one of the stories from my upcoming book.
Hmm.
And that is going to be called Book of the Cold Sun. That is the short story collection. And I would love to do that project next.
I'm trying to remember, you sent me a script at one point and I can't remember if it was that or for something else.
Could have been anything.
Yeah, I think it was. I mean, that's the thing. We usually have six or seven different things that we're actually working on, and it's like, what gets the traction?
Yep.
What can we do within a time frame or a budget frame? And you're just sort of always seeing what sticks.
I think that's kind of the way I preferred it to be too, like I like having a lot of irons in the fire.
Yeah, same. Cool. All right. Well, I will talk to you tomorrow, probably.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, probably like when this is done,
Right.
I'll message you. All right.
Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Yes. Thank you everyone for watching. And make sure to go subscribe to or follow Jay on social media, subscribe to his Substack and all that good stuff. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time on Into the Night tonight.